I call this meeting of Gilchrist County Board of County Commissioners to order. It's 4 o'clock, Monday, March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, my dad's birthday.
Wow.
Happy birthday. He was born on St. Patrick's.
How about that?
But I have asked Sharon to lead us in the flag, and I'll lead our minds in prayer if you'll stand. Let us pray. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the opportunity we have to come here today and to assemble ourselves together as Board of County Commissioners to conduct the business that has been set before us. We pray, Father, that you guide our minds and hearts in the right direction as we look at the agenda before us and we'd make the right decisions, the good decisions that would be best for the citizens of Gilchrist County, the state of Florida, and our nation. We ask, Father, that you be with our administration in Washington, D.C., that you would bless them in their efforts and guide them in the right direction, that they might be granted wisdom and understanding and look to you for their decisions that they make also, so that we can be the kind of nation that you would want us to be. We ask, Father, that you be with our first responders and our policemen, our firemen, and all the others, emergency management, and just protect them as they put their life on the line each and every day. We ask that you be with our military, that you protect them also as they put their life on the line to keep us free and protect our nation. We ask, Father, that you be with Gilchrist County as we celebrate 100 years. We just pray, Father, that we'd have 100 more if it be thy will. As long as the world don't end and Christ don't come back, we'll pray that we'll keep going like we're going. It's a beautiful place to live, and we're so thankful for all the blessings you give us each and every day. Forgive us of our shortcomings. Be with those that are the sick and the shut-ins, that they might gain their health and be back in their place of life once again. Go with us now. Continue to bless us, guard, guide, and keep us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Address the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Everybody had a chance to look, well, first of all, the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda?
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
None. Nope.
I got one little change on my attorney report. I want to talk about Senate Bill 110.
What was that?
Senate Bill 110, just for information, under my attorney's report.
Okay.
It's up for the agenda with noted change.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Thomas and a second from Mr. Sharon to approve the agenda with the noted changes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Agenda's approved. Everyone had a chance to look at the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Smith. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Commissioner Martin to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I just would like to note that the Pittman Engineering is the final payment.
What was that?
The Pittman Engineering invoice is for final payment on the vulnerability study.
Okay. You talking about Pittman Engineering?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, there's actually two invoices. The 08 is the final.
Okay, so you're saying it's final. Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay, public participation. Anybody want to speak to the board at this time? You'll have a chance before the meeting gets into the rest of it, or you'll have a chance at the end of the meeting.
Come on up to
I would ask you to come to the podium and state your name for the record.
What road is this?
This is Southeast 45th Avenue. That's gotten the guy at of the flag, and no, he was left. And so that what they set up for the meeting today, they're going to put me on it because nobody's told us anything.
Bobby, are you aware of anything there?
No, I'm not aware of anything out there. I think we met about a year, maybe a year and a half ago out on y'all's road, actually. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I was in the right location. Thank you. I haven't been made aware of anything. Of course, we know there's some land, that butts up to some of their properties that has been sold and it's, titled under Tiger Solar. We haven't received any type of documents, any paperwork, or anything hasn't been filed with us at this time. Now, that doesn't keep them from coming out and doing surveys and those type of things, but nothing has been filed with us. They would require, it's a process, a site plan, and that would all have to be filed with the county and the site plan, but due to buffering and different issues, actually has to come before the board.
Okay.
Does it look like survey markers or something?
Well, they, my fence post had pink tagged on them, and my fence post, when we put it in there, it was about a foot or so inside the property line. So basically, they put these tags on my property, and it's on my property, not on the easement. And I noticed they were on several other places, sites that had fences too.
This is off of County Road 232, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, I know where that
And
is.
well, a short dirt road also, so it kind of concerns us if they're gonna be doing a lot of construction out there, because it can get pretty mucky at times when it rains and stuff.
One thing we should be able to do, if they do any work there, is require them to come in off of State Road 47. You know, now, what I can't say is a stray pickup might not come down there occasionally, but any large deliveries and stuff, we usually have a choice in some of that for their egress, and all to come in and out, and so we should have some opportunities. I'm not 100% sure of this. I think that is, FRP, which is Florida Renewable Partners, who's doing that work, so I can reach out to my contacts and just see why, what they're doing in there right now. And like I said, it may be another group, but I think that's it, because they're the ones who did the one up on 232, just up at the corner of 3. So I can reach out to Florida Renewable Partners. And do I have a card here? Can I give you my card?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, either call or email me your contact information, and as soon as I can find something out in the next day or two, I'll be sure I relay that information to you, and then that way you can let all your neighbors know what we find out. Because I know y'all, I remember when we met with y'all that day, y'all a pretty tight group out there. You got to know each other and what's going on, which is great. I think that's commendable to have a good neighborhood and good neighbors. So.
Right along.
Here too, listen,
Yeah.
so.
Good deal. But if you'll either email me or either call that number and leave your contact information, and then we'll do some research to try to find out what's going on.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be glad to do that. No
Thank you
problem
very
at all.
much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Any constitutional officers? See any? Bobby, we'll turn it over to you.
All right, sir. The first item I have today is upgrading of the website. We had been looking at changing our website, upgrading it, making some changes, and just making it a little more friendly and bring it up to a lot of the required statutes and ADA requirements we have. Well, while we're in the process of kind of looking at this, we were looking more at maybe building ours into the budget. We found out that Ms. Lisa, Supervisor of Election, and had just found out that the people who carried her elections, that was through the state of Florida, if I remember correctly. Lisa, if you don't, you may step up, so if I state it wrong, you can, they were doing that for roughly $2,500, but they had so much trouble during the last election, they're not doing it anymore. So they quit doing it. So Lisa went out and looked for someone to actually be able to do her elections because she's required to have it. When she got through looking, you know, her price was around 42,500 with an annual maintenance fee of 24,000. So we reached out to Civic Plus, who is who we were talking to, and with what the county would cost, with the elections cost, we would be at $45,679.20 to do ours and election. So basically for another $3,000, more than what she would have to pay alone, we can do the, all of the county board departments and elections.
Can we,
There-
go out for bid for this to see if
You
we
won't
can
need
get?
to go out to bid. This is actually purchased on the TIPS program, which is already like your GSA contract and state contract. We actually, I think our insurance comes through, is on the TIPS program, some of that, but we have some other things. We are members of the TIPS program. So it's already
When's
been
the last
bid.
time I thought we've just recently, in the last couple of years, updated, our county website.
We've made some changes, but it's been 5 or 6 years since we did a complete update.
Lisa, when did the state notify you that basically they're canceling what they have and we're,
So it's not actually the state, it's, well, the new vendor, the new vendor, they have carried off the 7.
that we have to the end of the year? But
But, well, yeah, I have to be up and going by,
Right.
but it takes 6 months to get a website.
how about any chance the state supervisor of elections office will help us, or do we just don't know yet?
Even with a small town.
Is there any way we could get a hold of our, Chris Doolin with Small County Coalition to see if, that he maybe he might know something that we don't know about, maybe?
We'll see Chris this week at
Mhm.
the Small
Yeah.
County Coalition, Rural County Days in
I'd
Tallahassee.
like to, somebody talk to him to see if
You
there's
got
some
all-
way,
If you got all 67 counties in the state,
yeah.
all at the same time,
It's gonna
having
be-
to change something, yeah, that's gonna be a
Nightmare.
mess.
Man.
Kinda got you over a barrel where they can pretty much charge you whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of cities that are only taking so many offices because they don't want to office church.
You think it'd take about 6 months or better to get this thing up and going?
It's gonna take 6 to 9, depending on, you know, who you go with and what we want.
Or we that much
So-
time to play with?
Yeah, I've gotta make a decision here too.
So,
We'd have to fund it out of general fund?
Yes, sir.
What,
And-
what's the clerk's position on this, finance?
Just in looking at it, I mean, it seems like a lot of money for, I mean, I guess this is kind of the first I heard that we really had a problem with our website. So I guess that was my concern was, it's a lot of money for something I didn't realize was actually broke, but, I know we have an issue with the supervisor of elections, we've got to do something there, she has to do something there. So, I mean, I definitely see the urgency of her situation. I'm just not sure I'm not sure I see an urgency for us to do something on the county side.
so if we did go with Civic, it would, if, just for the supervisor of election, they would charge us 14,000, Mr. Crosby?
No. There's certain things that have to be built in there, so we would need to go price just the supervisor of elections. Now, she hasn't priced it
But they
with
have them
Civic.
separated right here, Civic does.
Well, we asked them to separate it
Okay.
so that we could show y'all what the difference was, because what you're looking at is when she went out and just requested for the supervisor elections, she's looking at $42,500.
That's not with Civic though, is it,
No.
Lisa?
And, but, there's a lot of work behind these websites that's already in there, because when they're doing the county's side as well, then there's some of the work would be repetitive. Civic Plus is also the company, y'all heard of Municode?
Mhm.
Clerk's very familiar with it. We've had Municode before I was here, actually doing work for us too. So, And that's the reason we kind of speeded this up, truthfully, is the situation that, supervisor elections got put in, and they're at a point that they have to, have something done quickly. And by
In talking with the supervisor, you know, and kind of trying to work through this and figure this out, there's some complexities to this. I mean, apparently the state has indicated they don't want more than like 10 counties going with the same firm. So, I mean, there are some kind of intricacies to the, you know, the situation she's in. You know, everybody can't just decide they're going to go with the same firm even if it was the least expensive. But in talking to her, I mean, I do think that there may be some other opportunities out there, you know, that would be a little bit more cost effective. And this may be the route to go, but I personally, I think maybe we should take a little bit more time and just you know, meet out some of those, alternatives and just see if there's a better alternative.
what alternatives are you thinking of?
Have you talked to any other counties, please?
We have conference calls with small counties all the time. There are several other companies that are lower, that are 13, 5. Going with we all got hit.
Actually, Levy uses Civic Plus, so they may have been able to just do the, I don't know if they have or not, but leave it, the county's on Civic Plus,
How much do we pay right now for our annual fee right now for our website, Mr.
about
Crosby?
7,000.
And how much do you pay right now for
multiple
your?
sites? Yeah, the county site itself is a little less than that. We actually pay for multiple sites. So I'm assuming this proposal includes all of the websites we do, or, yeah, so I mean, if you put all of the sites together, you know, that's probably right. The actual county site is, we pay.
This will be 22,000 with Civic this a year.
Correct. Yeah, the county site itself is $2,400, but then there are some other sites that we pay for,
Yeah,
such as
have to add all the
TDC,
others to it.
veterans, I think,
But it's not $22,000.
and fire and rescue. It is not, no ma'am.
Well, TDC's not in here, Fire Rescue's not in here, EM's not in here, there's a lot of others, it's not.
They're not in this proposal?
Well, no, they're in this proposal.
Okay.
They're not on that number you're talking about.
So
Right, right.
currently, the constitutional officers are separate, is that right?
Correct.
They have a link, we have a link to their website, but they're
Okay.
separate.
And we're talking about potentially combining them, or?
Uh,
I would still have a standalone website through Civic, through that website.
Yeah.
I mean, I would suggest we give it a week or two. We can talk to folks in Tallahassee when we're up there this week. There's a small county, or actually the County Renaissance, Senate Bill 110 that's coming that Mr. Lang's going to talk about, that they support us, and along these lines. And I don't know, a couple of weeks probably wouldn't hurt us. Maybe. I would like to see more quotes from different companies, and also, we have Rural Day coming up this week. There's gonna be all 27, 28, 30 counties up there. Wendy, we can share some information with them and see what they would suggest, or maybe they can make an offer. We can talk to Chris Doolan, all that kind of stuff. I mean, from now to the next meeting ain't gonna make your vote.
well, yeah, I was gonna say,
I think we'd have a lot more information if we waited another meeting.
Who do we have it with right now, Mr. Crosby?
Net Group, I think is what they're called.
It is.
And are we satisfied with them? I mean, how, we're not,
Absolutely not.
okay, so they're not doing a good job at all right now.
My last email that I sent, they sent me I asked them for something, they sent me an email. I responded back, and that was over almost 120 days ago, and I haven't received a response.
I pulled up Levy's
Wow.
just to compare to ours, and
theirs is much easier to navigate.
Yes.
There's just lots of advantages for him.
Maybe see who they use, you know,
Who's that?
Levy, he said.
Civic Plus. That's why we.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the reasons we went to Civic Plus, is because seeing what Levy had gotten and talking to Levy, and they had did a lot of this work, and Civic Plus is already on a bid platform. They were very satisfied, and they said they have a response time of less than 24 hours. And in certain cases, like with the elections and all, they will dedicate to be able to respond basically almost immediately during those, and that's all part of this cost. So it's a larger firm, which gives more people. They have all the ADA, they have the cybersecurity that we're required to have. It's all built into this, so, yeah.
And the TIPS program, that's, similar to the state contract, the sheriff's contract, the TIPS program. I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not super familiar with it either. I'd have to research that.
Has it been approved by the state comptroller?
Yes.
I'd
I
have to
don't know,
look
I'm
into
asking,
it, yeah.
that's not.
We have stuff that we have through TIPS already.
Well, I mean, today might not be the day for that either. We could just check, make sure. I want to make sure that.
Or do we wanna lay it on the table and, till we gather more
There's
information?
our contract now.
Or just,
Well, if we do, yeah, I mean, we can, but we need to make sure whoever we do go with, I mean, we want to look and see what some of their websites look like, because he just mentioned, you know, Levy County, he just said theirs was good.
Yeah.
So we do need to, you know, once we find out a list, you know, we need to get on and look at some of their work and see if we're satisfied with it or not.
we schedule it for,
Next meeting.
is our next regularly scheduled meeting far enough away and it's close enough for you?
Is there any way you could let us know, like, what sites maybe that they operate right now, so we can get on there and look, you know, with whoever you, no, like wherever you're gonna get bids from, like, you know, that way we can get on there, because I'm gonna look at Levy counties also and see how it is.
Next meeting will be April 7th.
Okay. I'll move to lay the motion on the table till our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is April 7th. And that will give us time to, research it a little bit.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Martin and a second from Commissioner Smith to, table the item before us until the April 7th meeting for informational purposes and research. We'll make a decision at that meeting. Okay.
I think our next meeting is April 7th.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get some sites up. We'll work with Lisa to get some to Cindy all, because I think due to the timeline that she needs to make, we need to be prepared to try to make a decision on April.
Yeah.
We'll be prepared.
Yep.
I will.
Yeah, I'll be prepared.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion for the, we have a time certain?
4:15.
4:50.
Something we discussed at the last meeting, or meeting before, right? So I'd make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-10 and BE 25-003.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Got a motion from Commissioner Smith and a second from Commissioner Thomas to approve resolution 2025-10 and budget amendment, 2025. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, Bobby, we'll go back to you.
Yes, sir. The next item I have is a task order with North Florida Professional Services for Tudine Boat Ramp Facility in the amount of $19,710. And this will be grant funded by Swanee River Water Management District grant that we currently have. The district was concerned with the stormwater runoff there, so they had asked me to meet out there with them. This will not be putting in a new boat ramp or anything like this. This will be repairing that stormwater runoff. If you've been to Tudine, there's a very deep area, and this will be the engineering to design that. And then we have some additional funding with them as well that should be able to cover the minor repairs that would need to be done. But in order to get the permit, we need to do a little bit of
Bobby, originally the estimate to repair was, I think, $1 million or.
a little over $1 million, and that was a new boat ramp, a whole lot of things. This will not be, this will just be repairing that stormwater runoff.
Water Management Districts said they will basically cover the cost, which is, I saw Mr. Thomas the other day and told him we appreciated that, and could he continue to support us? We appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve, the grant funding related to Dean and to North Florida Professional Services.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Smith and a second from Mr. Sharon Langford for the engineering at the Tudine boat ramp. So it'll basically be just kind of repairing what we got there and make it look better.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I went by it yesterday. It's, it's pretty bad shape as far, but there's no parking hardly or nothing like that
It's gonna be hard to create any parking or anything.
without redoing it.
Right. I mean, there's some ideas, but I mean, to create a lot of parking and everything, you're looking at the $1 million,
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing is, if you keep letting that stormwater runoff keep developing the way it is, it just keeps undermining
Yeah.
what you've got there now. So we need to go in and at least try to get that repaired.
It's a bigger.
And maybe in the future, we can do the other, but for now, we'll at least stop the erosion.
It'll be a bigger mess than what it is
Yes.
right now. if we don't. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
The next is a task order with North Florida Professional Services as well for an amount of $45,700. If you know, we've been, working back and forth on a Hart Springs RV park for some time. Once we submitted some information to the Water Management District, they had quite a lengthy list, about 26, 27 different items they wanted us to review. They were nice enough to come and meet us on site. After that, they narrowed that down quite a bit, but for the information they're requiring to permit that, and this would be for those RV sites down next to the springs, that would be $45,700. Now, we have money that we have budgeted for this.
Is Mitchell Gentry, is he still involved in it?
Yes, but currently he's not, because he did all he could do until we can,
Can we do another one?
we ran into the not being able to get the permit. Yeah.
Motion to approve. I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Thomas and a second from Commissioner Martin to approve the Pittman Engineering, money for the Hart Springs RV park. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair, I have a question. Is North Florida, do they feel like we're gonna be able to do this within, the budget that we have? I guess we'd have about 150,000 left.
At this point, we don't know that, but we've got to do this part to figure out what the elevations and what all we've got to do. We just don't know. You can't determine that scope of work for that work until you complete this part.
How about Bobby, I didn't see in the agreement timing as far as the schedule when they be complete. Did they give you an idea? when they might-
No, but Miss Tori's here. We can ask her.
Tori Humphreys, North Florida Professional Services. So you guys have been working with another felon, I believe, to get back to that event. Sorry, after we met on site with Water Management District, we went through some of those issues, we're still going. We've all agreed on what needs to happen so that you guys can get permits to your course. some files we have, some files we may not be able to get a hold of, so until we have all of that vetted out. I don't think it's gonna take us very long to satisfy one management district, but I still think we're looking at, because of their permitting process. Wetlands are involved, and we've worked out how we're gonna get around some of that with them, but we still have to go through all of their processes. So, I'd say probably 4 months start, and we should be committed to them within a month. So their process tends to go back and forth. You have wetlands, you have,
And that'll get us the permit?
do what?
And that'll get us the permit?
So our goal is to submit. We have a very good understanding with the district on what you guys are gonna be allowed to do and what you're not gonna be allowed to do. So, as long as the allowable meets you all expectations,
Be up there and go through it.
correct, they have to. They do have some new folks over there, so, a lot of issues we took care of on site. So,
Good.
we've already had a site visit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And, Mr. Lee, you said we had 150 left or 100 after this?
Well, we budgeted 200,000, so,
Okay.
so I mean, 155, I guess.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
The next item is, you know, a while back, we approved, Gray Construction, based on a bid for building of the ag extension. However, it was quite a bit over budget. So we have, Mr. Joe White and his team and, Mr. John Locklear and his team, we have had, multiple conversations, lots of emails, and lots of, actually 3 or 4 meetings doing some value engineering. Jessica has attended all those meetings, and she wanted me to let you know she's sorry she couldn't be here today. Of course, y'all know she's at the fair with the fair going on, so that's where she had to be today. But what it came down to is we have 3 options. Basically, option number 1, you've got a cost of $1,363,724. That would build a covered area in the back as a meeting room, which would be approximately 3,450 square feet, which would set with tables and chairs roughly 175 people. But the grant is for $1 million, and that means the county's responsibility would $363,724. We have an option number 2 with a cost of $1,285,532. That with a grant of $1 million, that means the county would be responsible for $285,532. And basically what that means is that red area you see outlined there will be cut in half, and you can set around 85 to 90 people with tables and chairs. And then you have option number 3, which would just build the office. When I say build the office, it includes parking. This includes parking, your paid parking, all that we're required to do. Your cost will be $1,197,630. $1 million grant, the county would need to come up with $197,630. We currently have made the top 10 for the second phase of funding. I do want the board to be aware, if you decide to put any of these funds in here today, those funds cannot be, the grant funds cannot be used to pay any funds that you approve today. So if you approve to use the 285, for example, then we couldn't take the 285 out of the next grant if we get it. There's still quite a bit larger work they want to do down there that the 1.7 would cover.
So if we do option 3, then we could put that covered area in the second phase, is what you're saying?
If we receive the funding, which, I mean, we're in the 10, but, you know, it's got to do 2 things. It's got to make it through the ag committee, and being in the top 10 is a great place to be to get through there based on their funding. Then it's got to make it across the governor's desk.
How much is that for,
1.7.
estimated? 1.7?
Yeah.
Bobby, how much, if we built out to phase 2, the total then you're saying is 2.7, or?
I'm sorry.
If we build out the phase 2, which we applied for phase 2,
You'd have a total of $2.7 million.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have to do some more, ponding, you're gonna have to do some more paving, because as you expand it, you gotta do paving, and so we'd use quite a bit of that 1.7 to.
Phase two would enclose or build and enclose this covered area, and what else would it do?
Phase two would actually enlarge the covered area,
Okay.
because we were trying to get to the point, because some of the events can be pretty big, to be around 350 people. There would also be hopefully, a full kitchen stainless steel kitchen where they make a lot of, the preserves and different canning items. If they do it within a approved type kitchen, they can sell them. The other would be an open area in the back, just like you might have on a farm or a shop. So if they want to show them how to work on tractors or hooking things up, so there'd be a lot of additional things to use there.
I would like to see, this is gonna be a 1 in 50-year project, I think, because we just don't build extension offices and facilities to support our farmers, our 4-H'ers, our community. So I like the idea of having more space. I don't really like the idea of taking from our fund balance. But I guess one thought is maybe we'll be successful with phase two. But what about, we've allocated money to our solid waste, $3.5 million in this year's budget. And I think that's a priority as well. We've asked for funding through the legislature for that. But we may not get to that project, this point during this budget year, for sure this budget year, maybe even next budget year, I don't know. But taking some of the money out of that budget allocation, 363 or whatever the board supports, it would help reduce the impact to the fund balance, I guess, is the idea.
But if we get the second phase of the grant, then couldn't we use that to build the covered area?
We could, if we get it. The other benefit of us putting money into it, 25% or whatever, whoever's in Tallahassee can say the county has skin in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's gonna give us a lot better chance of getting phase two, I think, but.
They like to see that, but.
Yeah.
What is phase two going to be, though? If we did the
Option one.
covered area, if you do option one, what is phase two at this point now?
Well, it would, what the original intention was, it would double the covered area, so that it would be even larger. And then, like I was saying, you're gonna build a kitchen, you're gonna have an open area where you can, actually hook up farm implements, work on our farm implements, just have different type of classes, as well. So, the other thing would be, Jessica wants to do some, IT type stuff in there as well too. A few more things that could go into the office itself, that's not it, that we've cut out. We're gonna have a larger restroom facility, gonna have a lot more paving, a lot more, stormwater pondage, because we reduced that quite a bit, so.
Bobby, when you say covered area, is that heating and cooling, or is that just a canopy?
Heat and cool.
Heat and cool, okay. We definitely need a facility in Gilchrist County that people could have events at, because right now we have to borrow the schools and lunchrooms and stuff like that, because we just don't have one. And it would be nice to have a nice building where people could.
So option one is heated and cooled?
Hello, I'm Joe White from Great Construction.
Am I correct on that, heating and cooled on option one?
You are not correct.
Oh, okay.
I just.
Is that why
That's why I got up.
Why you came
Well,
up this voting mighty
I'm glad
fast?
you did, because as soon as I answered, I'm like, wait, I think I just.
That's why you
answered
came up
that
in a
wrong.
hurry.
The red area is not heated or cooled, no matter what.
Is that enclosed?
It is fully enclosed, 100%.
not
It has insulation. It is not heated and cooled. So phase two hopefully will provide that.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
What about?
As soon as I answered, I knew I was wrong.
So we could put Great Construction on the side if they wanted to help contribute to enclosed.
You can, I'll be glad to ask you.
Yeah, we appreciate all your help.
So that is not heating and cooled then?
Yeah, so that's where a lot of your money on the 1.7 is gonna go too, because that's commercial heat and cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Richard, is that doable, that we, the 3.5 that we have for solid waste? I know it hasn't been transferred yet probably, but is it, say, we could kind of just, it's in a kitty and we could borrow from that kitty to do this, and then if we get the second phase, we can pay it back, or is there someone?
Are we still above our policy right now, though? How much are we over with the, okay.
Well, I think what Commissioner Smith is recommending is maybe taking the 3.5 million and reducing that as an allocation to solid waste to like
And
3 point.
and that's possible for this year, because we're not going to get to that point of needing that this
Yeah.
year.
But we gotta do something with solid waste too, I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just following up on fund balance, I mean, one of the big advantages to the fact that we have a fund balance is we're able to do these projects.
Yeah.
When you're on a reimbursement basis, for any of these projects, you gotta be able to pay for it up front. If you don't have the money, you can't get moving forward. And I tell you, this was, made pretty evident to me. Last week, I was in Tallahassee with a lot of the other clerks. And Liberty County has a large project they're working on, and they're in a mess. They don't really have the funds to get started on their project. They're having to figure out, how are we going to borrow enough money just so we can get this project moving? And then you've got the extra costs involved of having the loans, to just be able to move your project. So, if you don't have your fund balance in place, some of your projects are going to sit until you have either loans available or, something changes. Because, when it's on a reimbursement basis, again, you got to pay for it and then get the money. And if, the thing that they're struggling with is, they're doing their project and then they're submitting for reimbursement. And sometimes they get reimbursed quickly, and then sometimes they don't, So, if they get reimbursed in a month, that's good. If it takes 6 or 8 weeks, that's not so good. And, it potentially slows their project down because they don't have the funds to continue.
Is this being built in a way that this could be added on in the near future if we find out? We get the money from the state and all of a sudden we realize, well, we've got it, it's something we can add on immediately?
It's purposely designed that way.
And then I'd say, let's see what we got going before we spend all our cash. I mean, I'd like to see a world-class ag center that you could do all these different things to, but I certainly don't want to go in debt to.
I mean, we don't know exactly what we have right now, I mean, fund balance, could we look at that at the next meeting also, bring back our fund balance? And see what we have in that also right now?
Yeah.
And do we have to make this decision today, Mr. Crosby?
We need to try to get this decision made, and let me.
Today? Okay.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you why. We're already getting notices that steel's fixing to start going up, and all these prices are starting to go up. So, when it comes to that material, and I mean, here's the thing, even if you wanted to do option 3 today, we would probably be okay where they could secure enough of this material and everything, that if we brought all that back on April the 7th and you wanted to go into option 2, it would be fine, but they know they can go ahead and start calling their subs and telling them providing certain information to them to get all these prices locked in on certain things, so.
So would it be okay to
Exactly.
deal with the officer's part and everything and come back, go with option 3?
Joe, I think that'd be correct. We could build any one of these options and then just pick up and build the next option, couldn't we?
Yes, sir, that is correct. You can go with any of them. The issue mostly would be if you choose the larger option, we need to get that in the works faster
Because
to
it's still,
secure it. If you choose the smaller option, the price later on is going to be more than what you're paying now.
Price of everything's gonna go up.
Yes, it is.
Yes, so Bobby, what about if we build it with the lowest option, option 3, how much meeting room will we have for the 4-Hers or FFA or farmers or?
I don't remember the exact size of it there, but there is a meeting room in there. In there, so you've got some room, from in there. But
14 by 20 or?
I think it's the 14 by 20. But what you also have got to remember, I've kind of made this analogy. If all you do is build option 3 right now, you just took them from the grass hut to the castle on what they've been working in. So just option 1 is a tremendous improvement of room, space. Most everyone's been in there. If it rains enough, you wade in there. And just, so even just, if we went with option 3 for now, that would at least, it'd be great to do option 1, but the reason I gave y'all 3 options, I'm sitting here with the same thoughts y'all have. If we get the money, the grant would have paid for it. It's the big word if. But it's not that many months out. The prices may change a little bit, but go up some. I think they've already got a quote, steel's going up in June, is that correct? But even if it does go up, if we've got the grant funding, it still may, work out better for the county, even with the price of the material going up some.
If we do option 3, we're putting 197,630, so that's gonna, what is that, 20% would be, what we're basically offering? I think that would still help us if we go to Tallahassee and say,
Yeah.
the county's putting in this amount. Maybe we get phase 2 and then we come back and provide some additional funds if we have it and everybody's comfortable with that. This facility is gonna be something for generations, and it's not just gonna be 4-H and FFA and farmers, it's gonna be master gardeners, it's everything that extension. The other thing extension does is provide, talking to Jessica, for every dollar we invest, they talk about a $20 return to the community from the IFAS system, which is research in live oak, all that kind of stuff to support this facility. And so I support what, the board wants to do here. I just think we ought to think longer term, and I want to keep our fund balance. I understand that part of it. This is a one-time investment into the future.
So the grant was 1 million and we gotta pay the difference, right? Yes. So we have to pick an option
Yeah.
to move forward.
And I really would like to see us go with, the whole shebang, option 1, but I don't wanna pull that out of our fund balance right now. So I think option 3 gives us a start on the building, and then when we see if this grant's gone through, then we can step up and add the half a building or maybe the whole building if we wanna go ahead and throw that extra in there. I just, hate to see us go, $400,000 basically out of our fund balance after we've already dipped $1 million out for Spring Ridge, and we've dipped, 400,000 out for the police department, and
Solid waste coming out.
solid waste is coming out. I just, it's an awful lot of money to be, when we may have the money coming. We just don't know. And when will we know whether this money's gonna be there?
You'll probably, if I had to guess this year, you're gonna know, probably late May, mid-June. Wouldn't you say
Okay,
that?
since the price doesn't go up till June, we know late May, still get the price
But this is coming out of fund balance.
right now. Yeah.
And we can't fall back and use that.
And you can't use, if we got grant, you couldn't put the 997 back.
Yeah, but
I'm like Darryl, I'd like to do the whole 9 yards simply for the fact that it's gonna be a 50, 60-year project, a 75-year project. It's gonna serve the county. It's gonna be excellent, but, there again, we just,
I think we've been waiting on this for about 20
Yes,
years.
we
I
have.
think we started on this 20 years ago.
it'll be great for Gilchrist County, but let me ask you one more time, Rick.
Yeah.
I call it earmark money for solid waste. We budgeted, all right? Okay, so if we dipped into it, it would come out of fund balance still, because that's how we doing it, but
So we don't
I
know.
couldn't take this out of, let's just say the 197. Could I take it out of the earmark money? And when solid waste does not start their project this year?
You could project through the end of the budget year.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I think our only choice is to go with option 3 and then hope we get funded and go ahead and build what we wanna build and bring it up to option 1 if we can afford it.
I agree.
I just,
I'll make that motion. I'll make the motion that we take option 3, right now, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Mr. Martin, could I get you to add to your motion, if Mr. Lang agrees, to allow Mr. Lang to prepare the contract, and we can go ahead and execute it based on his approval of the
Yes.
contract?
Yes.
okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Martin and a second from Commissioner Thomas to approve option 3 for the Ag Center, with the addition of having Bobby execute the contract and, Attorney Lang look it over and make sure everything's good and move forward with it. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
We get the grant money and can move forward, but,
Mr. Joe,
it's a big
do
if.
you have a sample contract you can send over to us? Go ahead and fill it in, and if you'll email it to me, I'll get it, Mr. Lang to review.
Yeah, you're right. Going from a hut to a Taj Mahal.
Well, what my hopes is that, and I think everybody here is, that funding comes through. We'll probably, good chance we'll still be in construction during that phase, so then it's a matter of just,
Adding it on.
getting back with the Gray, they've already got some prices. We know there could be some changes in the prices, but, it's gonna be visible, because everybody's gonna see it, and maybe we can just move forward with the entire project at that point, amend the contract, and keep on going.
Yeah.
Because the drawing, we may have to adjust the drawings a little bit, but we pretty much have the drawings for what's gotta be done, the rest of it.
I certainly have high hopes, because everything I keep hearing about this station is rural county, rural county. They're really all about rural county, and we're one of them, so
That's right.
I hope they follow through with it.
We have a lot of, We have a lot of things in our favor, but the old saying goes, don't count them chickens yet.
We'll bend the ear a little bit this week. Yes, sir.
Worry about it, that's right.
And we're also looking at hurricane season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the front step.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just real quick, I want to thank Mr. White and Gray Construction. I want to thank Mr. John Locklear and Locklear Center. We have worked a lot on this, and I've called them on the phone, I've sent them emails, and I know sometimes they're probably like, how many more questions can he come up with? But, yeah, they've always been polite, they've answered me, we've worked through this, and everybody wanted to have a very good project for Gilchrist County. And something that if we do go to add to, it's simple to come back and add to it, it's not complicated.
Good.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, thank y'all very much.
Okay.
My next item is number 7, community paramedic. As we spoke last time, this is a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the Hanley Foundation. As you remember, I think at our last board meeting, we had an MOU as well, and we spoke that you may see more of these as Mr. Clemens starts working with these different foundations. The grant requires him to have an MOU with these groups. This is no cost in any way to the county, but we are required to have these MOUs in place.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook where, he got a lot of, Narcans from them, so that was good. And then he has them all throughout the county and through, I know there's one out at Pawpaw's by the voting precinct out there in my district, so. And there's one at the library and all the voting precincts.
So we did get them all installed at all the voting precincts, the library, and R&J School and Bell has one. Then
Heart Springs.
Grace has asked for one.
Heart Springs, you put one there?
What about Spring Ridge?
Spring Ridge
They're supposed to
has,
get one.
the voting precinct has one. There's not one at the fire station. They can't be in direct sunlight, so that's our fine strategic place. But the Hanley Foundation did partner with us to do the Narcan boxes. They gave us the boxes. They give us a lot of Narcan to fill them with, a certain amount of cords up to for the year. This is just a pretty straightforward.
Brian, can you briefly talk about who the Hanley Foundation is and what they do?
The Hanley Foundation is a nonprofit. They're based down in South Florida, but they have been up in Gilchrist for probably 4 years.
About 4 years.
I think about 4 years.
They go into the schools and
They
Yeah.
do. They go all into the community.
All the Tri-County area, all the way up to Madison,
drug prevention, those kind of
drug, alcohol, and
Drug, alcohol, family counseling,
family,
lots of
teen parent counseling, or not teen parent, just parenting counseling.
shared family.
Yep.
No cost for us, no cost for them to satisfy the state.
Thank you for all your work. Second?
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Thomas, second from Commissioner Martin, to approve the MOU with Gilchrist County Fire and Rescue. Gilchrist County. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
The next item has number 8 under emergency management, Synergy, one of our PA disaster recovery groups. We need to get a task order done not to exceed the amount of $50,000. This is to help us manage some of our costs for Hurricane Helene. This is reimbursable by FEMA.
I move to accept task order 2501 to Synergy Disaster Recovery.
Do we need to make this note for something?
No.
No.
No, we're
Fine
fine.
today.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, do I have a second? I have Commissioner,
Second.
motion from Commissioner Martin and a second from Commissioner Sharon Langford, to approve task order number 25-01, not to exceed $50,000. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, that ends my report unless y'all have some questions this time, but one thing I did forget to mention, I'd like to go ahead and mention. Mr. Jim Mash, our veteran, who was our former Veterans Administrator for the county, I found out today that he passed away late last week. So don't know any details at this point. I think they're looking to hopefully try to bury him in Bunnell at the military cemetery. As you know, he served in the military quite a bit, matter of fact, under 2 different branches of the military service as well. And, you know, everybody here knows he's just, he's a good gentleman, very nice. And, hopefully, I'd like to ask the board, we'll come back and maybe at some time we can, we find out maybe the day, whatever day his funeral may be, that we can lower our flags here in the county to half-mast in honor of him, and maybe place a wreath at the memorial or just that day for maybe him, because he did a lot of great work here. A lot of veterans wouldn't have what they have if it wouldn't have been for him.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lane?
Yeah, I just had a point of information on a couple of Senate bills that have been filed. The first one I want to mention is Senate Bill 432. It relates to power of county commissioners to levy special assessments. I know a couple of meetings ago, we had talked about pursuing maybe a special exception on Southeast 41st Way at Waters Lake. This was brought to mind and the county administrator's attention recently, but this is the power of county commissioners to levy special assessments, deleting special assessments as a source of funding for certain municipal facilities and services, deleting the ability of the legislative and governing body of a county to levy and collect special assessments, deleting special assessments as a mechanism to finance services or programs rendered specially for the benefit of property or residents in unincorporated areas, etc. And that's reading by title only. The complete bill is found with the Senate bill. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We don't know where that's going. It was actually filed on February the 28th. It was referred to the Community Affairs, Finance and Tax Appropriations Committee on March the 7th, and then it was introduced to the Senate on March the 10th. I don't have an update past that, but you know what that does. That wants to take another power away from you, a funding mechanism, funding source that you might have.
So that would be our fire, will that be our solid waste, our fire?
Fire and solid waste.
Yeah, so how much money would that be for our county? Roughly, any idea?
That's a real good question. I'm glad you asked that.
One of them's roughly 900,000. I can't remember solid waste.
Well, you can get it later. I was just curious.
Well, and I don't understand that either, the rationale behind that and why that was introduced. Somebody might know that has more
The only,
input from the legislature than I do, but I couldn't understand that.
the only advantage I could see to it from a homeowner perspective is that if you eliminate a special assessment, everybody pays a special assessment. And my reading of the bill, it indicates that you eliminate the special assessment and you require counties or municipalities to do either MSTUs or MSBUs. And so it's changing the method of funding it. So you'd have to do MSTUs instead of special assessments. Well, if you have homestead on your property and you don't currently, the value is under your homesteaded value, then you wouldn't pay any of the tax in essence.
So eliminating special assessment would be, instead of a bigger group, it'd take it down to a
Right, it would take it down to a smaller group having to pay it in essence. So, I mean, again, it just changes the funding source, or changes the requirement for how counties would fund their services.
Yeah, create a lot of work for us to have to recreate what we're doing, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
So that would
Yeah.
affect like a fire right now and a solid waste.
It would correct.
Yeah.
Over $4 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, you know,
And then so that a smaller percentage will pay them, and it'll be more than, they'll pay more. Yeah, I'm not
and I've been,
fond about this.
I've been working on the legal side for 31 years, and it's been a work in progress on the special assessment
Yeah.
all along. It's been adopted, heard by different courts, different postures, different positions, that sort of thing. And they finally got it to this point, now they're talking about eliminating that power for county commissioners.
That's,
So,
yeah.
that start new. But I just want to bring out to your,
Can we
attention
get the
in case
small
you
county
missed it.
coalition on that issue, on that topic?
Lobby your legislators,
I
y'all
will.
going up.
Yeah,
rural-
I would say
rural-
during rural county days, that needs to be a topic of discussion.
That's right. Now,
I've sent emails to Chris and our senator and our representative.
yeah, and it's
Not
critical
gonna be
for,
good with that for us.
rural counties, small counties, you know, we don't have the big tax basis that a lot of the big counties do, so that's a critical funding source. But anyway, yeah, when you go up there and visit with your legislators, remind them, where we're at and who we are. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is Senate Bill 110. This was introduced by, Mr. Corey Simon, Senator Corey Simon. This is a good bill, I think. This is, and Darrell's shaking his head, he's read it. Rural communities requiring the state land planning agency to give preference for technical assistance funding to local governments located in a rural area of opportunity, authorizing eligible counties to receive a distribution of sales and use tax revenue, creating the Office of Rural Prosperity within the Department of Commerce, creating the Public Infrastructure Smart Technology Grant Program within the Office of Rural Prosperity, requiring rather than authorizing. Let me repeat that, requiring rather than authorizing that certain funds received from the State Transportation Trust Fund be used for the Small County Road Assistance Program, et cetera, and they intend to appropriate $197,343,293 for that. That was actually filed with the Senate on February the 19th, went through, Community Affairs on 2/20. It's, gone through committee. It was voted on favorably on March 3rd by the, Community Affairs Committee. It's now in fiscal policy. It's on the committee's agenda, so it's moving along. And hopefully, it'll reach the end of the race, because that's a good bill for us there.
Yeah, Commissioner Martin is asked to be excused. His, granddaughter's showing a pig at the fair, and he wants to see her do it.
I don't blame you.
Can't blame him.
Can't blame you a bit.
No, not at all.
Any questions that I can ask?
Well, you got one good one, one bad one.
One good one and one bad one. Yeah, talk nice to the senators and representatives about that one. Corey
Well-
Simon's bill.
We can certainly talk about this, Wednesday and Thursday up there, because what would we do if we lost $4 million in altogether? But the thing about it is, you'd still collect it, but you just collect it from a select few.
Mhm.
Maybe we just pile our garbage up down there and tell Tallahassee to come haul it off.
So we'll be paying for people that won't be paying anything to haul trash off,
Yeah.
and people who already paying is gonna pay more.
And everybody makes trash.
I know. It's not right, it's not right.
Okay. All right.
I've seen all kind of silly stuff though. I mean, I say silly
Not
to make
right.
it like tying the homestead exemption to the consumer price index. So have you seen that one where your homestead exemption will adjust each year based on the CPI? I don't know. It's hard to budget when you do things like that.
It's about the next 2 or 3
Is that it,
weeks,
Mr.
you'll
Lane?
see what
That's
we've
all.
got
That's all
left.
I had. I just want to bring that to your attention.
Well, we appreciate that. We really do. How about it, Mr. Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to bring back the request for us to do a workshop to discuss the fire and EMS facility surtax. And Mr. Crosby and I had thrown together a few different dates that would work for us, and we thought we would see if those dates would work for the board.
So you need one of those dates then?
Yes, ma'am. We were proposing March 25th, either March 25th, March 27th, or April 1st. And if possible, we'd like to do either a 1 o'clock or a 2 o'clock workshop.
2 o'clock would be better for me.
Bobby and myself have a Zoom conference on April the first,
Yeah,
starting at
April
1,
1st
and
is not gonna be good for me.
it's only scheduled for an hour, but sometimes they last 2 hours. That issue there. I think
April
that's-
the 1st, because I may have a school board meeting that night.
So, but the 25th or the 27th is fine with me.
Yeah, 27th.
Commissioner Martin said any of this, he would make it work. So,
Okay.
What about the 27th?
yeah,
That's next week.
yeah,
So the 27th at 2 o'clock?
yeah, it'll be next Thursday. 2 o'clock.
And that's all I have today.
How long will
March
it last?
27th at 2 o'clock, correct?
March
Yeah.
27th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
And I would anticipate probably an hour, hour and a half.
I don't think it'd be too bad.
Yeah.
Any reason why we can't start like at 3 then?
Mr. Crosby?
Any reason we can't start like at 3? If it's gonna last only an hour?
Yeah,
Or-
three would be fine.
3 o'clock okay with y'all?
We
Yeah.
do have, just for, the board's reference, we do have a 4 o'clock meeting. Somebody has already calendared, utilizing the boardroom at 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay, then 2 o'clock's fine.
Okay. 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Anything else, sir?
No, sir, that concludes my report.
Okay.
Yeah, stay at 2 o'clock.
We'll go to our commissioner reports, Commissioner Winfrey.
Yeah, I sit on the Three Rivers, Library Board, and, I know I brag about our library all the time, but I want to brag about them again. First of all, if you haven't been in there, you know, I encourage you to go in there to stop by anytime. She has, runs the best library ever. I mean, her programs, always overflowing, cars, packed with her programs, kids and adults. But, just to give you something on the circulation of services for, circulation of books, audiobooks, DVDs, and just regular books, juvenile books, adult books. For Gilchrist County for, the first quarter, which was October, November, December, Gilchrist County had 7,179. Which was the highest out of, 4 counties. Dixie was 3,991. And then, Taylor County was 2,399 circulation of books and, or DVDs, videos, and Lafayette was 2,195. So just Gilchrist County alone, I think, Mr. Crosby, you did the math, it was what, 46%
46%.
out of 4 counties? So, if you go by there, you know, just tell her what a great job she is doing. And, she does a great job.
And the kids love it.
Kids love, just
Kids
look
love
at the circulation of,
Education.
books, you know, audiobooks, regular books, DVDs, everything, you know. That's a lot. She does a great job. All the time. So if you stop by there, just
Having an event or something sometime when you go by there, don't
give her tell her what a great job.
good.
Well, just to follow up on that, we had the board meeting for Three Rivers last week, and the executive director was really bragging on our library director about they have to do an audit every year, and he was just really bragging on her. The audit was really smooth and very efficient, and yeah.
They're always bragging on her at the library board meetings because she does a
Well,
great
a lot
job.
of the attendees are bragging on it too.
That she does a great job.
They thought it was a great program, it's educational. Their kids love it, you know.
Phenomenal job. She has adult programs, kids programs, she has. Yeah, anyway.
Is that it?
That's it.
Good. Mr. Smith?
Just, Commissioner Martin left for the fair, and I think most everybody knows the fair is going on in hogs today and cattle tomorrow and sale on Friday, or Wednesday. Talking to, Adam Elliott, he said that Gilchrist County has about 93 kids this year, and they're a little under per child, the amount they usually raise. I know all the board has provided support and just, encourage anybody that's out that hasn't contributed to support that group, and, they're doing a lot of good work down there. Also, we mentioned Small County Coalition and the Florida Association of Counties are having legislative events this week, and so we'll be in Tallahassee and participating in Rural County Days on Thursday. I know, Bobby, you and Donna and lots of people contribute and work on getting set up to promote Gilchrist County, and that's always a good event, so we appreciate all that work. So, yep.
I just have a couple items. We have a flyer here on our desk, talking about celebrate our Vietnam War veterans and commemorate the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. The AMVETS Post 422 invites you to honor our Vietnam War veterans and to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the end of the war in Vietnam on Saturday, March the 29th, 2025 at 1 p.m. We'll be welcoming home our Vietnam War veterans with a presentation of the Vietnam War veteran rifle pin. There will be a short presentation followed by reception. All veterans are invited to attend. So if you need a time or anything, you can have this flyer if you want. The other thing is the Chamber of Commerce. We met Tuesday. We now have a new director. His name's Hunter. Real nice young man. I think Duke, you met him at the TDC meeting, didn't you, Bobby?
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be Seems to be a real nice young man, and we look forward to working with him. Also, the dollar store's not open. They've got it ready. I just don't know what the holdup is, so I'll try to see if I can get an answer. Spring Ridge, I rode it today. It's looking really good. They have the back. They have both sides. The far end is almost out to 340, except that little short run, and the other one is almost the same. So mostly what they like is just some in the middle and the turnoffs, and they'll have it done. Looks good, real good. I mean, fantastic. I think that's all I have.
I would like to make a comment. The emergency department called in last week, our loader, 47 flight report, and Mr. Gray was kind enough to let us use the loader he had here to carry on. So, just thanks to him, saved us a lot of miles.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Any board member have anything else? Okay, we're looking for public participation. Anybody like to address the board? Come on up, sir.
Who is that?
Mr. Waring, now.
Two questions. One bothers me a lot, was this gentleman that got shot by his neighbor. We gotta be able to do something about that legally when people become a nuisance in the neighborhood. And I believe this gentleman is now in jail for the nuisance to the neighborhood. For a whole year, people had to put up with this guy cutting their trees down and guarding or putting a fence across their driveway. Nobody should have to live with that. So I don't know what the sheriff can do about it, or we can do it as the public, or you people can do, you take care of us. But I feel as though something needs to be done when you have a person that's out of control like that.
I agree with you, and the thing about it is, when you talk to law enforcement though, it's such a, their hands are almost tied as far as he has to commit some kind of crime that he can go lock him up or something. Well, if you aggravate the tar on him and make me so mad and draw trees down, to me, that's criminal enough, but according to them,
Yep.
you know, it has to be changed as far as in Tallahassee or the law and saying,
Right,
okay,
right.
if he does this, I can go lock him up.
Right.
But a lot of times they just say, it's like a domestic dispute or this, you gotta wait till somebody beats somebody to almost death before you can do anything, and I just don't.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, the way I feel, this was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, to shoot another person, and I could imagine the man was unarmed. I don't know, because I don't know the whole story.
Right.
But what did I get on the
Facebook and the news and all that. I think it's disgusting for people to act that way.
Why does it have to get to that point?
Yeah, why did it have to get to that point? And secondly, Gay Road. I was out there Sunday. Why they did what they did, I have no idea. They took the hard top off the lime rock, and it's a sand pit. They narrowed it down. I don't know why they just didn't pave it the way it was. What their excuse is, I don't know. But, one of the people I know lived out there, their work truck got stuck. They told him he could drive it. Their work truck got stuck. They pulled it out, messed the front end up, and the school bus got stuck. I don't know if you know that or not, for 45 minutes. So why was that, why did they dig that road out like they did?
That would be a
I
question
mean,
for the
somebody's
contractor,
gotta
I
know
guess.
something about that, right?
Well, yeah, that was the design, according, and then once you design it, then you have to send it to the Florida Department of Transportation. They review it, and they either accept it or they don't accept it, and you have to design it to their criteria. It kind of goes back to the other thing that you was talking about as well. There's a lot of stuff that goes on that we don't always understand, but we're kind of stuck with it. So,
Bobby,
and
were
when
they,
they're paying for it,
yeah,
we have to do it the way they tell us
were
to
they
do it.
trying to
Well,
lower,
I mean, I
lower
figured
a
it was a
hill or?
grant, right?
They did take out some of the hills,
Yeah,
They did, they took up a lot.
yeah.
that's
I
probably.
mean, there's one mailbox about 8 foot high. I figured now they gotta have air mail.
Golly,
You know, what Jeff said.
I know.
But,
But
that was a
it's through.
so anyway, I hope they get that straightened out, because I talked to several people I know down there, and they're a little upset about it.
Well, in about, when they get through, the next thing's gonna be people drive too fast down there, so.
Well, I can tell you right now, as it was, people drive too fast.
Yeah, you're
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else want to speak to the board? Okay, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second.
We get full with you.
Yeah,
Now.
Yeah, that'll send me.
budget time is coming up, we don't